So we came up and saw that this was an underutilized resource, and this was February, March. We cleaned up the space and then started looking around the hotel for things that we could grow things in. We ordered a bunch of seeds. We built the greenhouse, and we sort of had our little temperature controlled area. We used our old water bottles and cut those in half and started the seedlings in it. You know, everything was, how do we do this inexpensively? How do we make it so everybody can do it? We really wanted it to be more about an inclusive process that's, you know, reducing your environmental impact, that's reducing the amount of waste that the hotel produces, and, you know, ultimately is giving us great products to work with as, you know, chefs and bartenders. There's nothing better than being able to grow your own and then use it in the food that you're making for people. So from the duck roaster that was left over, these old floorboards that were headed for the trash, Dan and I did a lot of dumpster diving early on, just finding containers. If you look behind me, the dill and the thyme are growing in a paper shredder that broke down, and we took the top off and we're like, let's plant stuff in there. The stock pot that wasn't any good for our purposes at Maialino worked great for our blueberry bush. So as you look around, there's all sorts of different things that have been reused, like really adding a second life cycle to these industrial products that were, you know, again, headed for the garbage.
Ready? Mm-hmm. So the restaurant produces excess grease, which needs to get transported out, and generally a grease company will come and use these 55-gallon barrels to take it out of the building. So we got a couple from our grease disposal company, and it's hooked up to a downspout from this very small roof right here. So whenever there's a nice thunderstorm, these two barrels will fill up 110 gallons of water in a matter of 30-35 minutes. So we can store that water, and then when we need to water the planting beds, we have a sump pump inside which turns on and will feed the water through an irrigation system that's subsurfacing the beds. And that does a couple things. Because we're so high up, the soil will dry out really quickly, and that helps to minimize any evaporation. And since we are harvesting rainwater, that enables us to make really efficient use of the water. So if you want to step over here, I'll do a little demonstration. These pipes are running through all of these beds. It's just PVC piping with small holes drilled in it. And it's even able to be put on a timer, so we can just have it water the beds even if we aren't in the building, which is pretty convenient.
What's that?
So here's our compost bin in the corner here. It's constructed from old plastic flooring that was used in a storage area and was bound for the trash. So we saved it from the trash and managed to form it into a circle secured by some metal straps there. And it's really nice because it can breathe, it can let air circulate through the compost really well, but the holes are small enough that it will contain all the vegetable and waste scraps. The top to it is actually the top to an old duck roaster that was used in the previous restaurant in the building. As you can imagine, a room and restaurant doesn't have all that much use for a baking duck roaster. So we made it useful on the roof here as our compost bin. We actually have about 1,500 worms inside, which enable the compost to move a lot more quickly than a traditional compost using vermiculture. So in anywhere from 3 weeks to 5 weeks, you can generally turn over a batch of compost and get it going right in the soil. So we've been pretty much trying to add all of the vegetable scraps in the building in there, and we're working on a few more.
So you're looking at this beautiful garden up here, and one of the great things about this, aside from all the environmental benefits and recycling benefits that we get from it, it just also makes delicious food. And I think that there's no reason a chef would be doing this if he wasn't supplying his kitchen and the clientele that comes in here with really delicious things to eat. And on a daily basis, it's great because we let Mother Nature dictate what we're going to put on the menu for that particular day. Today, for example, we have lots of green tomatoes that we want to harvest, so we're going to make a green tomato salsa with fried scallops and put them in a taco. We're just making really fun, sort of very green gastro-hubby kind of food. It's just a fun way to think about, eating with cocktails, and I think this is the first time myself that I've been able to cook with ingredients that are literally grown steps away from the kitchen, and it's just really fun to have that kind of interaction with Mother Nature on a daily basis.